Welcome to the Nomad Network, your first stop for complete and comprehensive Chicago Bears football coverage. Dive deep into analyses, updates, and all things Bears. Subscribe to our YouTube channel today and never miss a beat. Thank you in advance for your support. We promise to bring you the best because together we're unstoppable. Go Bears!
Yo, what's going on tonight, man? What's going on? This is Nomad at Night, man. Thank everybody for being here. I only see two people so far, and I'm gonna shout them out real quick. Nodge is in the building, number one up in here, and then Timothy Bazemore, number two, as everybody starts to trickle in. It's Thanksgiving somewhere around the world. I heard it was in Canada, and so yeah, that's weird, man. They have Thanksgiving in October, but it's about a month in front of us. But yeah, kids is he's around family right now, so he's running a little bit late. He'll be here. That's him in the chat right there. Look at it. So yeah, man, I'm actually not watching it right now, but I was watching the Kansas City Detroit Lions game, and boy, oh boy, let me tell you, Don Berg gonna come in here tonight, and at some point he's gonna be kind of unbearable, man, because that first drive was very, very convincing to a lot of Detroit Lions fans. They just ran it right.
Wait, Don Burr, unbearable? No,
absolutely unbearable.
Say it ain't so. That pussy cat gonna get unbearable.
Yeah, man. It was anyway, man. What we came here to talk about tonight is this matchup, this preview of this matchup tomorrow night. We will be live tomorrow night, 30 minutes before the game, like we always are, man. We're going to broadcast the game. Well, Trips is going to broadcast the game, him and kids. But, yeah, man, I can't wait to break down some of the details. I got injury reports and some of that, how that's going to shake out. It's going to be cool to break that down a little bit. What's going on, Mikey, Tim Bazemore, Mayhem in the building? Everybody trickles in here, man. Let's have a good time tonight, man. Have fun talking about this Bears game. Again, man, it is so weird watching Sunday football and the Bears not being there 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. That's an odd scheduling quirk, I guess you call it. But it's all good because we got to watch a lot of football today, a lot of good ball, a lot of bad ball. And Monday Night Football, though, because the Bears are back, all the eyes will be on that game. Now, how does this? They got two games going on, right? How does that shit work?
What do you mean 2 games?
There's 2 games on Monday night.
Is it?
It's the Bears and the Commies, and then Buffalo's playing somebody.
Right? Buffalo and Atlanta, right?
Yeah, now they're both on Monday night. How does that work? Are they on at the same time simultaneously? I don't understand the scheduling of that and how it works.
Think, you know what? Now that you remind me, I think one of them is scheduled to jump off at around somewhere around 6 o'clock. I don't know what time. It's about 6 o'clock somewhere. That's all I remember. It was 6 o'clock, about 6 o'clock somewhere.
It's just like it's Thanksgiving somewhere.
It's going to run into each other. The coverage is going to run into each other, so people are going to have to choose. And, of course, everybody going to go with the Bears and Commanders because it's just
– Well, yeah.
Obviously, that's a more intriguing game for most people.
Obviously. But it's going to be exciting to have the eyes back on, the scene of the quote-unquote crime. And whatever the over-under is on how many times that Hail Mary will be mentioned by the staff broadcast crew. What is it, like 3, 4? Probably take the over. But Tyreek gets the opportunity to bring his name out of the mud this new regime gets the opportunity to further, which we'll get into, but further work with the pieces that they have. The pieces that they have are getting healthier and working together more. It's like, yeah, it's almost game day, y'all. Monday night, it's all good because in less than 24 hours, you will be with us. We will be together here on the Nomad Network watching the Bears kick some commie ass. Let's go.
You know, this game is so much more than the malfunction that Tyreek Stevenson had. There's just so much more to that game. You know, talking about the coaching snafus and coverages, and it was so that had to be probably the most irritating game for me to watch as a Bears fan. Outside of that 50 burger in Detroit. You know, that's probably equal to it, but I'm talking about being a defensive player. Trips, you know, you watch your team play and you watching how they playing defense and different coverages and different situations. I'm sitting here like, okay, I know for sure he's going to come out of this zone coverage because obviously this is going to be these soft coverages are going to hurt us. And what did he do? He goes right back to the zone coverages and just gives them leeway, and it was so frustrating. Trips, man, I can't even describe to you live on the show how badly frustrated I was. I was hot just watching it. I could not. It's almost unbearable for me. I almost turned this shit off. I'm literally that pissed off about it. So, man,
hold on, time out. I'm laughing because what made you hot during that occasion right now, Cowboy fan nation is feeling that exact same feeling right now.
They got ran through by, and I'm not gonna call. I think Bryce Young is developing into a pretty good quarterback. To be honest with you, pretty good quarterback. And I can see the growth and development as I watch him play. The way he's manipulating defenses, the way he's letting the game come to him. That's a very veteran kind of football player that I'm starting to see right now. And so I ain't gonna obviously I ain't giving Flus no breaks on how he calls the defense. This shit too soft. And I think the Cowboy Nation is turning on him, man. Turning on him quick.
It was a very short leash to begin with, and it's getting yanked right now. It's like, what are we doing on defense? But looking around the NFL as we chat about the NFL, did you see the further drama of the telenovela that is the Miami Dolphin franchise?
I had it on mute for a second. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't get to see like details. It was just highlights here and there. You know, I was watching. Who was up? I think Pittsburgh was on or something. Pittsburgh and Cleveland.
Well, no, I don't mean the actual game. That shit show. I mean the comments by Tua after the game.
No. I didn't see that. What did he say?
Well, to paraphrase, he was saying that there are players that don't show up to players' meetings. There are players that show up to players' online meetings late. And basically that the whole locker room organization is in a shambles. No one gives a shit. Yeah, like Paul Rodriguez is saying, Miami's in shambles. Coach was probably going to get fired.
How the fuck you going to be late to a Zoom meeting? You got a phone.
Hey, man, I was getting a massage, playing putt-putt. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I was doing something. I'm here now. What y'all fools want? You know what I mean? That seems to be the attitude going on with the players down there. Because remember, they was the ones complaining in preseason. Was like, ow, the Bears hit us hard. And it hurt. And it's like, y'all soft asses, pussies.
Hang in there, Squeegee. We about to get to it in just a second. We just talking a little bullshit for a second until Kev gets just talking around, man.
Let the maniacs settle in because it's a community. and the community has to have time to gather because everybody ain't on the same schedule. Family things, business things, are just things. But the
Yeah.
Nomad Network is here for you. So become a member, become a super nomaniac. You'll see the how throughout the show. Use that QR code. Utilize that. The subscription, not subscription, but the what do you call it? Yeah, subscription sub. Make sure you hit that if you haven't done so. And then you make sure that you like Keds the Canuck when he gets here. That's his channel. Sports Chicago Style, that's my channel. And the Nomad Network where you are now. Because it's what is this? Week 5 is coming to an end. Well, tomorrow night will be the end of week 5. No, it's week 6, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. Good question. Yeah, we had a bye week, so it's probably week 6 for everybody.
Yeah, this is the end of week 6. It's like, man, weeks. I mean, that's week 4 math. That's a month and a half already of the season gone. Didn't it just start?
Yeah, man. It's going pretty quick. It's going pretty quick. And I'm like you. I'm like this, Trips. I so enjoy football season. Football season seems to come and go so quickly to me that it's like, golly, we're gonna have to wait another several months for football season again, man. I don't want to complain about a damn thing right now. I'm just glad it's football season and we get to see Chicago Bears. This is why that's kind of what part of my life is what I live for, man. I try not to at this point in my life I try not to take football as serious as I tend to take it, but I can't help myself. I'm just a nut. I am a nut for this football game, and I always will be. As I was born into it, I'm just a football person, man. I'll always be that, and it's just we should just savor this stuff while we can. That's the thing I tell everybody: just savor the taste, man. Savor it.
Well, is that what fanatic, if you will?
No, I'm less than a fanatic, man. I'm just a junkie.
Ah, okay. You
I'm a
need it in your veins, man. Inject that shit.
I'm a junkie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work doing this channel, and I asked for this, and we got it, and that's hard. You know what I mean? But it's something you love, so it ain't that much work to it. You know what I mean? But it is a lot of damn work. Just for
Oh yeah. And speaking of a lot of work, it was a lot of work to watch Justin Fields today. Oh, that boy got sacked 9 times. He had less passing yards than I did today, and I ain't even play.
I'm so over that and tired of that conversation. I am sick. And Justin Fields has been gone for 2 years, and I'm done with that conversation totally.
Well, I'm just not to keep him or have him just around the NFL. You can say the same thing about Aaron out there in Pittsburgh. He's like, he looked like he done found the fountain of youth or some kind of substance that made him go back young again, and he's out here dropping in the bucket to DK Metcalf on routes, and it's like, what? And it's like, yeah. We're just, chopping it up NFL wise before we get to the actual meat of the program once the Nomaniacs get to the house. Because as Cad said, he's on that CPT, and we all know what that is. Canadian people's time.
Speaking of CPT and Canadian, talking about fantasy, one thing I can tell you fantasy wise, if you have Jamar Chase or T. Higgins on your team, you probably been scared to play them for the last several weeks. Because the first week or two, you probably played them just because, okay, it can't be this bad all the time. It's going to get better. You probably played both of those guys. And for the last 2 weeks, the last 3 weeks or so, you probably haven't played them. And these are big time scorers in fantasy trips. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, people count on them for a lot of points. And so I'm one that has T. Higgins right now. I did not play him for the last 2 to 3 weeks. Just because Joe Flacco showed up on the scene, I more or less bet on Joe Flacco. than I bet on T. Higgins. I'm just like, somebody to get this ball out. Because straight up, that guy that they had in there, quarterback, probably shouldn't even be in the NFL. He should be playing somewhere in the Canucks jurisdiction in Canada on one of his favorite teams or something. He ain't got no business being in the NFL, man. That guy sucks.
I bet you kids will say Canada don't even want him.
Hey, Crimson, my fault, man. Let me apologize. I didn't know you guys were there. I was waiting for these guys to text me back, and they never did. Kids didn't until like 15, 20 minutes before the show. But I didn't know you and Trish were there. So I was just waiting to hear back from these guys. My bad. I will fix that.
Mm-hmm. How did your boy T. Higgins do fantasy point wise for you?
He got about somewhere between 13, 15 points or something like that. That's kind of pedestrian for him.
Wow, okay. Relentless Mikey, man, I love Drake May. Kid is good. But to be honest, McLaurin has done the same thing as Chase has to me. Well, McLaurin's out hurt. Right? Yeah, he's out. He's not playing tomorrow night. Scary.
Got the injury report coming up here whenever kids get to
okay.
Some of that. Let me see what Squeegee's saying here. He says, would you trade depth in some other area of the team to improve the trenches, like receiver? I think you're trying to allude to getting rid of DJ Moore. Everybody seems to be on that right now. Is it a possibility? I'd say in the next several weeks, in the next 2 to 3 weeks, next 2 to 3 games, it's going to tell us a lot about what this team is going to do as far as any of that is concerned. And we're going to talk about some of that a little bit later on. But yeah, I know the fan base is just like, oh, let's get something. Let's let them go. I ain't so quick to feel that way, man. I want to see how far we can take this thing.
Well, but that's the thing, though. To get something, whether it be a running back or edge rusher or defensive line, stuffing help or whatever, you got to give up something. And I think the question is, not specifically DJ, but, he would be obviously that wide receiver room asset. But what would you be willing to give up is the question that, as fans who are armchair or office chair GMs, are you willing to give up? If not DJ Moore or Cole Kmet or, first round picks, what's the value to you? You got to think about that stuff.
I hate when people pose that question that way to me because it's almost kind of narcissistic. Like I run the team. Like I ain't willing to give up shit. I ain't running this thing. I'm just trying. If we want to have a conversation with me, it's about, okay, what's realistic and what do I think isn't. More than anything, I'm not trading DJ Moore. I'm not trading nobody. I'm not doing anything.
But if you bring somebody in, somebody got to go. So
right. I mean, there's all kinds of ways this shit can play out. And it usually comes down and it usually happens in a way that none of us even saw coming. Ain't that what usually happens most of the time? We talking about this, next thing you know, they do that. And so it's like, we'll talk about that. That's a big part of it.
Wait. But to clarify, Squeegee, just to clarify, he said he would be in for trading a wide receiver on the bottom of the roster, but not DJ.
Yeah.
So he's not politicking to get rid of him.
He's saying at the bottom of the roster. Who are we talking about?
Well, another wide receiver on the roster like Oz or Duvernay or Jade or not DJ.
I don't know.
Ain't nobody taking none of them in exchange.
Look at you on CPT, you Canadian. Hey.
Canadian People's Time, live and direct.
What's happening?
Hey, y'all. Happy Sunday. Happy Thanksgiving.
Cheers.
What you got there?
I'm drinking what they call the Blue Lobster Rocket. I don't know what this is, but it sure is tasty.
Does it have alcohol in it? Or is that a non-alcohol? Oh, it does.
Indeed.
What percentage might that have on the can? Does it say?
Not a lot. So it's 6%.
And how many of those might have you had?
1 or 2.
You drinking that funny tasting ass beer?
This ain't beer. This is like a vodka cooler.
Oh, that's liquor.
Oh, okay.
Booze. It tastes like it kind of tastes like a watered down 3-flavored rocket popsicle. You know?
Oh yeah, I love those.
Red, white, and blue.
I love those.
Oh yeah, those things. You know, as an adult,
like you melted them down and then mixed them together.
Okay.
And then poured vodka.
We call it a bomb pop.
Yeah, bomb pop. Yeah. Okay. You know, as an adult male, we can't eat them in public now no more. But that's a whole different thing.
Man, I'm eating my shit. I don't give a fuck about all that Diddy shit, man.
Hey, did y'all eat turkey for Thanksgiving in Canada? What y'all eat out there?
Okay, we do as a cultural thing, we do. But I'm from the Caribbean, so we don't really give a rat's ass about all them specifics. So we have a good old Caribbean meal, and it's tasty, and I just crushed that. So if the itis kicks in, y'all, just warn y'all now. If the itis kicks in, I'm sorry.
Oh, man. All right, man. Kez, do your network screen shuffle thing that you do so we can get it over here.
Oh, okay. Bada boom. Bang.
Relentless Mikey said, "Happy Thanksgiving, man."
Cheers to you, Mikey. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much, and happy Thanksgiving to all y'all, even though it ain't y'all's Thanksgiving, but give thanks nonetheless.
All right. So let's get this game. Let me close my window because this must be a fire or some fucking where.
The roof is on fire.
We don't need no water. Let the motherfucker
Let me share my screen right quick. So we can see what's going on.
The roaches on the wall. We don't need no raid. Let them motherfuckers crawl. Crawl, motherfuckers. Crawl.
Can you see this?
We can.
Wait, what am I looking at? Wait, what are we looking at?
We're just following the Detroit Lions and how they will come out beating the daylights out of the Kansas City Chiefs today. Yeah, Don Burr, you're gonna have I'm sure you have something to say about it towards the end of the show. But the Kansas City Chiefs today are not the Kansas City Chiefs of old.
Just these aren't your father's Kansas City
These
Chiefs.
are not your daddy's Kansas City Chiefs. You are correct.
All right, how about this? We'll come back to this game. I just had to give a little quick update. Let me get that down. And let's get into some Chicago Bears, which is what everybody can. You know what, kids? You want to give a quick fantasy update before we start rolling in? And I kind of stole your thunder a little bit with a couple of things or two. But if you got anything you want to speak on, go right ahead.
I haven't even had the chance to look at fantasy today because of food and drink and things of that nature. But I will say, in the Superflex League, I'm right now ahead of whoever I'm facing. So that's important news to share with the world. Snap! I'm up against Sin City Rebels. Still got it. I'm not sure what they got going on. I still got Jaden Daniels left to play, and so far so good. Looks like a good week for your boy.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, did you just say Jaden Daniels?
Yeah, he just said that shit.
I did.
Oh, Kez, that's fucked up because you about to be all fucked up.
Well, he's gonna score points though. Like that's what's gonna happen.
With his mama.
It's fantasy. Oh, it's fantasy football though. Like you know what I mean? That's what it is. The one thing that I will say was probably the easiest money of the week fantasy football. For fantasy football was picking the Raiders defense against the Tennessee Titans. Easy money, y'all. So I had Kansas City Chiefs defense today, and I'm like, they probably gonna get smacked up by the Detroit Lions. So you know what? I'm just gonna put them on my bench and go see who. Oh, the Raiders are playing the Tennessee Titans. If you're streaming defense, look for whoever's basically playing the Tennessee Titans, and for the most part, select them and play them that week, and you'll probably have a pretty decent showing. Mine shows 17 points for a defense, so I can't even. Mikey, you got cross.
Really? A2, Mikey.
Up against you, Mikey.
A2. Yeah, Bill.
That's just fantasy. That's just hedging your bets. Fantasy is fantasy. You know, that ain't got
Well,
no
but I mean,
no loyalty to that.
it's gotta be kind of heart wrenching to watch the team you root for in real life to have players on your fantasy team play against each other.
Well, I
And
mean,
so,
look at it this way, Trips. If you playing fantasy football, you're gonna if it's for the betterment of your team, you're gonna avoid Green Bay Packers because you don't like the Green Bay Packers.
well, but I'm talking like kids. He got Jaden Daniels, and now his Bears are gonna play his fantasy quarterback. So he wants his fantasy quarterback to do good, but he also wants his Bears to win.
Look, this is a very important and heart-wrenching conversation we are having right now, because for these reasons, strangely, I only have a single Chicago Bear on any of my fantasy football teams this year. I decided to select Colston Loveland. It was not to my benefit. He's still sitting on my bench.
I'm not sure crying for 3 weeks about that, huh?
What's that?
That's why you've been crying for 2 weeks about that, huh?
I'm just saying he ain't doing anything. I'm hoping he comes back healthy on Monday and lights it up. Maybe I'll throw him in the mix. But
yeah. So it ain't about the Bears, really. It's about your ass.
But it really is about me. Because at the end, if I lose this week and Jaden Daniels shits the bed, and the Bears win, I'm fine with it. Fuck fantasy football. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I look at it at the end of the day. If the Bears win, hey man, reality football is a hell of a lot better in that situation than fantasy is.
I think Coach Loveland is not a fantasy. That's a fantasy boom or bust. Like, matter of fact, I wouldn't even consider playing him until I seen 2 straight games at least.
Wait for it, bro. Like, honest to God. So just look at just look at the way Komet has been played these last few weeks with Colston Loveland out. I can only see Loveland getting in the mix and receiving those targets, because the other side of Komet that we've been seeing a lot more of, and it's working, is the blocking, right? And I was giving him some props there the other day because I'm loving what I see from Cole Komet on the blocking side of things. If they're able to line Cole Komet up as a blocking threat and potentially a passing threat, and then line up Loveland in his place on the right side, now he's a yak threat. Like, the one thing I have to say about Komet is Komet's not really a yak threat. Like, never really has been. He might catch the ball here and there. You know, he might also drop it here and there. You know what I mean? But yak threat? Oh, snap. Here comes Loveland. So I'm just waiting for Loveland to get his shot there this week.
You ain't gonna never know when to start him. I'm telling you, you're gonna, unless Cole Komet goes down, you are not gonna know when to start him. Period.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, after next week,
Loveland is gonna have one of those breakout games where it's like, here I am, bitches. Right now he's no Tyler Warren. So
it's coming this week. This is the week. Just
this week. You think Loveland is this week?
Mark my words on Monday night.
Let's go.
Touchdown, Colston Loveland at the very least one. Colston Loveland's going to break out on Monday night. That's what's going to happen.
Let's go.
You gonna call
and that's because he's on your bench.
I'm
not playing him. It makes no difference to me to this week. You know what I'm saying, from a fantasy football perspective. This is the week he breaks out. You watch.
Can't you make a personal bet like that? Like, if Vegas has got like that, you can bet on whether or not you think Colston Loveland will score TD, right?
Yeah, I can bet. It's not a like, I wouldn't make any it just wouldn't be a high odds enough bet that I would make anything off of it.
All right, because we better get to some Bears football and start getting into it, because Squeegee came in here
going crazy. What up, Squeegee?
That hyper speed, he's ready. All right, so we're gonna get to it, man. So let me get up the injury report. Give me a second to share my screen. All right. Wait a minute, I gotta stop that screen first.
That's a good question.
Share the screen. We'll get to this injury report real fast. So this is the official injury report. Let me get back in StreamYard. The only person that's out that's gonna really, we're gonna miss Grady Jarrett, of course, man. We're gonna miss Grady Jarrett until Grady Jarrett gets back in there. But Grady Jarrett's out. But everything else looks like roses. Austin Booker coming back, full practice. Travis Homer coming back, full practice. Colston Loveland, full practice. Cairo Santos, full. Brisker, full. We had some question marks
Oh,
about them.
word? Okay, Jaquan.
Yeah. TJ's coming back. He had a full one. Kyler, Jonah Jackson, full. Monangai, Darnell, Wright, all full practices, man. So we should be mostly set to go, man. I think we are in better shape than I ain't gonna say better shape than them, but I think we're probably a little bit healthier as far as the key guys go. You know, in your 22, this 22 that you start on defense and offense, we're a little more healthier than them. But let's just start with one player at a time. The impact that Booker we are hoping is going to make consistently that he did, you know, per Ben Johnson. Consistently he did it in camp. Consistently he did it in preseason. We got to see all of that. He did it in the joint practices, I understand. And I think he is going to have a significant impact on this pass rush. One way or the other, the pass rush be damned, he's still got to maintain his run defense as well. So I think let's just start with Austin Booker. I think he's going to be a big boost to what they do defensively along that front.
Man, I'm just not 1,000,000,000% sure they play him. They just got to play this kid, man. He has to make it on the field. I have a feeling, man, just the sheer motor that he plays with is game changing, right? Like he motors, he does not stop. And like this is considering like the athlete that Dominique Robinson actually is, he gets like tied up. He gets stopped dead in his tracks at times. You don't see that from Booker. Booker's always moving and motoring around, whether it's in the run game or he's on pass rush. That's what I want to see. That is disruptive all by itself. We saw a guy like that a couple of weeks ago who just don't stop moving. His name is Max Crosby, y'all. And I think we kind of have a little bit of a mini Max, not a Mad Max, a mini Max in Austin Booker. So
I'm mildly perturbed, Austin.
Mildly perturbed Max. I love it. Yo, that's what I see. That's what I see out of Austin Booker. And I can't wait to actually see it materialize in real time on the field this season. I'm just not sure if it's going to be on Monday. Better damn well be Monday, though.
You know what, kids? Let me give you a pause right quick because I probably should have did this first. Let me take this down. Let me take you guys and show you a look at what it looks like for the Commanders real quick before we start breaking down our players. Show you what their shit looks like. All right. You guys can see this, I hope.
It's a little bit small, but you can read it.
So John Bates, a tight end.
Small and white. That's what she said.
John Bates, a tight end. Noah Brown, one of their guys that they've been waiting to come back. He won't be available.
Oh, he's out indefinitely.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't say indefinitely.
Well, I mean for this game, right? Like if yeah, okay.
Yeah, John Cosme, one of the better guards in the league, he's going to be out. Jaden Daniels, he'll play. Terry McLaurin out completely. Chris Rodriguez and Deebo Samuels, it says questionable. They did not practice the last couple of games. Deebo had a limited one on Friday. Now, I got a feeling one or both of these guys are going to play, and they're just giving them a little rest all the way up until game time. I think we will see Chris Rodriguez and Deebo Samuel. That's just my assumption here, but they can.
What is Deebo's injury? What does that say?
Somebody said quad or something. I'm not sure exactly what it is.
I can't see that.
It's a heel, as a matter of fact. I heard quad, but they're saying a heel, and they're just giving them rest.
All right, so you got a hitch in his giddy up. Okay.
Yeah, it's regular shit for this time of the year. It's just injuries are gonna happen, man. You're gonna have guys up, you're gonna have guys down. It's just what it is.
Yeah. And he's a veteran, so he knows where to be. He knows how to play ball. I was just wondering what all those words were.
Yeah, heel. They just trying to give him a little rest. Let me get our stuff back up there.
So wait a minute. So that was offensive line and wide receiver that they're kind of hurting that then.
All right. So here's their wide receiver roster, because like it looked like they're beat up a little bit here. So Deebo Samuel, Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Lane, Noah Brown, who's out, Chris Moore, and Terry McLaurin, who's also out. I suppose the other big threat, there's two other potential threats on this team to take note of besides Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, or Bill, as they like to call him. Three more threats. Jeremy McNichols is also a threat. He's a very solid running back. He can be good in the passing game too. Chris Rodriguez is more of a running back, tried, true, and tested, but he ain't a world beater by himself. Zach Ertz as a tight end can be a world beater. He's getting long in the tooth, but he's still good. The other guy that I would say pay some attention to is their other tight end, Ben Sinnott. That's what they look like, y'all. I'm not afraid of this. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Not this guy, bro. I don't think this is with these injuries, the way that this looks. Keep a spy on Jaden Daniels, and I think we rock and roll.
I tell you what, man, we're gonna break that game matchup down a little bit further as we get into that part of the show. But right now, let's concentrate on Austin Booker. Trips, you have a take on what you think he might bring to the table?
Well, I would hope that he brings more instantaneous or faster pressure and able to get home and be disruptful. How about that? Have him be disruptful and hold up in the pass.
The coolest, my take on this, Austin Booker's impact on it all. The luxury of a guy like Austin Booker, who's a rotational player at this point. He's not a starter. The thing about Austin Booker and his perspective at this point, he's got to see everything that we've been seeing. He's hearing everything that we're hearing. And that is just fodder for his fuel. He's seeing this opportunity as an opportunity to grab. This is my chance to get in here and put my imprint on this team and on this defense and possibly, put a stranglehold on some playing time and some reps, because that's what it's about for him at this point, making sure I get enough reps. So you only got me scheduled for, let's say, 10, 12 reps. I'm going to make you put it up to 15, 20 by the time this next game comes around. That's the kind of motivation he's got to be playing with. This is an opportunity. He sees that the pass rush has been less than, outstanding. And this is an opportunity for a young player like this to jump in and cement his role on his team. We'll get to the whole trade scenarios and who might be available and all that a little later on. But for the sake of Austin Booker, he should 110% see this as an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he has to attack this.
Damn straight. He's got a 3-week audition, and he needs to, you know what I'm saying? He needs to be Robert De Niro for 3 weeks. That's it.
Welcome into the
Washington.
Welcome into the community, Pink Floyd or Floyd Pink. Welcome in, my guy. Appreciate you for being here. Hit the subscribe button while you're here. I would appreciate that. And we can talk about some other stuff later on, but hit the like and subscribe for us. We would appreciate that.
Yeah, give us some love there from the dark side of the moon.
Wow.
Yeah, we have to talk about that whole album, man. I got some thoughts about it. All right, let's get to the
Wait a minute. You listened to the Floyd album?
Just a little bit. I had to take it from some. I'll tell you a quick story, man.
Holy.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. A guy that I had to, I don't know. I'm a mentor, counselor type of guy, man. I see somebody in trouble, and it's my natural makeup is to reach out and try to help that individual. So I ran into an individual at one of the last places I lived when I was in Atlanta. I was in Marietta, and he was really, really struggling mentally. And this guy was just walking around all day. He's a young cat too, man. He wasn't no older. He was very young, and he's just had these earbuds on all the time with this little iPod, and that's all he played. It was just constantly Pink Floyd.
Oh, it's because he was on acid.
He was on some other shit, but it wasn't acid.
Yeah, something like acid.
Acid, okay, all right, fine.
Anyway, long story short, I had to take that from him, and you guys don't get on me, but I took it from him. I deboed that shit, and I gave him, and I'm not the church person, but I had a Bible in my house, and I put a Bible in his hand. I said, man, you got to change your outlook on life, and you got to change what you're ingesting into your body. You're putting this is not food, but it is food. You getting this, you playing this shit over and over in your head. Long story short, I took his shit and I gave him a Bible, man, and he didn't oppose it at all. Not because I'm more physically imposing than him, but he knew he needed that at the time. So that Pink Floyd record was doing shit to him. To him, later on he got to explaining what that record was doing to him, but at the time I just knew I had to do something. And that's what I did.
Yeah, made him comfortably numb. I get it. See how I did that?
Nicely done.
Right. Let's talk about Travis Homer. And he is kind of an emergency back in the rotation. But if depending the person I don't see on this list as somebody that, I assume Roschon Johnson is going to be in this mix. In the running.
Dude, he's not injured, dude.
Okay, so I'm just saying, Travis Homer coming back. I'm just gonna 1, 2, 3, 4. How do you see that shit playing out, kids? How do you think you think Travis Homer moves up above Roschon Johnson, or does he stay in that emergency back role?
Oh boy. Well, considering he sucks as a running back, like I'll just say the obvious shit that needs to be said. I'm sorry. He's a special teamer. He's a G special teamer.
Shout out to Paul Rodriguez. He got a bounce, man. Thank you for being
here.
Paul.
Right on, Paul.
Paul Rodriguez.
Rebound. Catch us on the rebound.
All right, yeah, man. He's a G special teamer. He really is. We're hurting at special teams. I think he makes a massive impact on the special team side of things. That just means we got one more special teamer. I'll also say that Roschon, strangely enough, has been playing his ass off on special teams. That's the only place we are seeing him. He's healthy. I don't think Travis Homer makes any level of impact in the run game whatsoever, mainly considering that he never has before. Triple R.
Yeah, until we see him tote the rock a few times, Travis Homer is a special teams player as far as we are concerned. Monangai, I would assume, is going to start to get more carries earlier, and they will utilize Swift more in his physical capacity of the swing passes, of the getting out of the pocket kind of thing, or running outside of the tackles. I don't really see any world in which Roschon or Travis Homer are now included in the offense, only because they have, I think, like this many runs. That's 0 all season. So until they show us something, they don't exist in that world. But in the world of special teams, Homer and Roschon, how do they exist at the same time? So how does 4 running backs on the active roster on game day, how does that work?
Well,
where you get 2 of them destined for running backs who only play special teams. So somebody got to go.
Well, something I probably should mention is I don't know what happened. There ain't no details about it, but something happened with Monangai either in that last game, and he's just been nursing since then, or early in one of those earlier practices after the game, because they went right back to practice after a day off, and they went right back to, practicing. Stuff happens in practice, man. People just assume all this shit happens in game. A lot of shit happens in practice. Lots of shit happens in practice, but he went from, being questionable for far as Brad Biggs went. I was just listening to his, take on it. He was watching the practice, whatever he could watch. And he was just like kind of keep an eye on Kyle Monangai. So with that being said, Kyle Monangai to the conversation with Travis Homer, we'll see what Kyle Monangai can do. It says he had a full practice. They're trying to gin him up and get him ready for this game, but we'll see what a kind of contributor he'll be. You never know what's really going on with him at this point in the season. He could be nicked up pretty good and just all right, this is just what it's going to be for the season?
Well, I mean, I'm just going according to the injury report, and monangai is a full go. So, I mean that's full go to me. So, if he's dinged up, I would think not, be full and not even questionable. I could see them saying, "Hey, this is the first week back where Homer is eligible to return. He's been a full go. He's questionable, but let's not make him active for Monday night. Let's keep him out until Sunday. They could go that route."
And by the way, Squeegee brought this up, and I'm glad you did because I would have forgot about it. Squeegee, shout out to you for this one. But we might be looking at some inclement weather, some rain, some moisture, and this will be the first time that Ben Johnson has had to coach the game, call a game in inclement weather. And you can't call the same game in inclement weather that you would in regular conditions, in dry conditions. You have to do certain things a certain way, just because protection of the ball. So the running backs might be very, very, very useful in this game. I would just say that. So while we are on Travis Homer, who knows what happens here.
Well, but also while we're on running backs, I also heard that not only has DJ Moore been continuing to get reps at running back, but so has Oz.
Yeah.
Olamide Zaccheaus. So, he's getting reps at running back now. Where's that gonna go?
I'm less alarmed about it than you two guys are, and more just I think Ben Johnson is just getting them used to being dynamic as a player. Sometimes we'll ask you to go back there and go carry the ball. We just want to keep the defense off guard. And your usage, you don't want to. That's one thing you have to like about Ben Johnson is how dynamic he uses his pieces.
Mm-hmm.
He'll tell somebody to do something that's just like, I'm a multi-millionaire receiver that's used to getting 1,000 yards every season. You telling me I got to go line up in the backfield? All right, your reasoning behind that, you telling me why you want me to line up in the backfield. Okay, I accept that because you're trying to make sure that people respect me wherever I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about
direct snaps and all that. Yeah, all that.
I get that. I get that 100%.
Okay. Yeah, but I still haven't heard about Roschon Johnson or Travis Homer running any reps or snaps at running back. So it's just funny to me the way that they are not being used or utilized, because do they not fit the scheme? Do they not get it? The responsibilities of the position? Do they? I mean, what is it that I don't know? Or is it still that Ben Johnson and the staff are figuring stuff out on the fly? So it's like, we don't know how you fit in yet, so you're gonna chill over there for a minute. I don't know. It's just weird. And so how they deploy them, well, it would be telling before the game when we find out who is active and who isn't. That will answer a few of those questions right there.
I think it's not it's not necessarily binary, man. It's not singular. I think it might be a lot of stuff to it. Some of the stuff I was just talking about, some of the stuff you talking about could be also, some of the stuff you see in practice. And what's more important for me, like, it's not like they've been running the ball a hell of a lot since the season started, man. They've been throwing the ball a whole lot more than they're running it. When they're running it, they're not having that much success. And so, like, how many opportunities are you going to be able to get a Roschon Johnson or a Travis Homer, when you're not running the ball very effectively and you're throwing the ball more than you're running it?
I don't have, what I have to say about all this, and it's like, any of y'all watch the Giants game this week?
Yes, I'm part of it.
Some of it, yeah.
Good Lord. They let a 4th round pick go, and we're trying to figure out what the heck we're doing with running back. They let a 4th rounder just walk by, and my boy running up and down on the Eagles, just big daddy stomping on anything green. Man, I wish somebody was actually paying attention to some Cam Scatterbo film. You know what I mean? That's really all I got to say about it. Anyways, yeah, does Homer and Roshan crack this running back room from a playing standpoint? I just don't see it. I don't think they're in favor, right? I just don't. I think, again, Travis Homer's on this team because Richard Hightower went to whoever was listening and was like, yo, this is the special teams G. If I'm here, he's here. He needs to be a part of my special team squad because he gets it done every time. He's here. I just don't see him toting that rock, man. I just don't see it happening. And as far as Roshan is concerned, he's been here for 2 weeks healthy. I ain't seeing football in his hand.
All right. So any last thoughts on the running back? And we talking about Travis Homer coming back, but we ended up talking about all the running backs because it's a running back. Any last thoughts on this situation before we move to Colston Loveland?
Nah, that's all I got. Trip, what about you?
No, I'm good.
All right. So now we move to Colston Loveland. And I'm just going to say this to you, kids, with your fantasy mind. I'm going to repeat myself. He's not viable yet. I'm not saying he's going to be. I'm talking about in fantasy. He's not viable. Don't you start that guy. So I was just trying to save you here. Don't start Colston Loveland. Now, Colston Loveland, I do think he's going to have an impact on what they do as far as the structure of what they do. It's going to be more added to the play call selection because you have Colston Loveland back in the game. You can run more 2 tight end sets, and both of those guys can be live, and that just changes the dynamics of the defense in the first place. Because Cole Kmet is, when he's catching the ball, he's proven he can be an impact player.
If I had a spot, I would just because you're like double dog daring me, I would straight up start him because I know what's going to happen tomorrow. As far as he's concerned, Colston Loveland's going to come out tomorrow and he's going to be a threat. Mark my words. Mark my words. It'll be. I'm just saying. Tomorrow's going to be the Colston Loveland come out party, and
ain't tell him nothing, can you, Trip?
I'm just telling you, I can't start him. It's a situation where I can't. I just don't have. I don't have an existing or free flex spot where I could put him in. Travis Kelce is playing right this minute in my tight end spot, or I would yank Travis Kelce out and put Colston Loveland in because I wholeheartedly believe that he's going to be a big part of tomorrow's game plan. Like
So I'm trying to tell you, kids, so long as Cole Kmet is he's got a healthy spot on the 53, dog, that is crazy fantasy-wise. Now, we can be fans and be like, yeah, I think Cole Kmet's going to be like what Relentless Mikey is right. He says he's firmly planted on his bench until maybe 10 or 11 at week 10 or 11. That's a smart man right there.
It is.
Very smart man.
I'm a little bit of a gambler. I know when to hold him.
Bear Truth 9 thinks he's going to be a big part from here on out. I think he is going to be a big part, but maybe not in the fantasy numbers department. I'm just saying.
Telling you, right? This is the week. This is the week where things become interesting for the Chicago Bears. I'm with respect to Colston Loveland, that is. I'm just saying. He hasn't had the opportunity to make his impression felt. The first couple of weeks, they targeted him a few times. They gave him some opportunity, and then he got hurt. He was just getting warm, and he got hurt. I think it's about that time, man. And like I'm saying, Cole Kmet's really, really upped his blocking game, his game as a blocking tight end, which I thought was super lackluster in the last two seasons. It's really become a thing. And if they need to layer on some additional help for Theo Bennett and on the left side over the course of the next game, I expect that to be Cole Kmet. I expect Colston Loveland to line up in his position on the other side. And I expect Colston Loveland to get hit a couple of times in stride in that seam. I'm just saying it out loud.
Yeah, it would be nice to see how our the defenders will react to Loveland because there's not really a lot of tape on him doing anything. So he could be deployed in a position to where his athletic skills are extenuated. He has the opportunity to get some, good yak run yards after catch. And especially with kids having him not starting him on his fantasy team, Loveland will have a huge game.
You know what I'm saying? Damn it! You know what I'm saying? Just had to put that out there too. Thanks, Trip. Thanks for that. But it's true, bro. That's the other reason why I know it's gonna pop off. He'll be sitting on my bench. It'll be a 20-point afternoon for Colston Loveland, and I'll be mad. But I'll still win this week, so it won't be the end of the world.
All right. So now I got to get to the X's and O's and talk about this the way it should be talked about. And that is when peanut butter meets the jelly on the bread and you got a sandwich. Those two tight ends. Now, just know we're playing pretty much an amoeba of what Flus ran last year. With us, it's a 4-3. It's what we do. But it's more, I would just say, a little bit more man-to-man heavy than whatever Flus did here. It's a 4-3 base set. Now, here's where the rubber meets the road. How many times do you leave your base packages out there? That means with 3 linebackers, and leave your nickel off the field. And so Mike Samerstill is their nickel cornerback. How many times are you going to leave Mike Samerstill on one of those tight ends if they start putting heavy personnel on there? How many times are you going to leave them out there? Because they start putting heavy personnel with 2 and 3 tight ends out there, that's going to force the defense to adjust. And now they got to take Mikey Samerstill off the field and put another linebacker on there, advantage Bears. Leave him out there, Mikey Samerstill is like 4 foot tall, and he's going to have to guard these giants, advantage Bears. You see what I'm saying? It's a problem. It's a problem. Now, Mikey Samerstill, being as small as he is, that kind of size and that kind of player does have its advantages. They can get underneath a lot of different things and cause a quarterback not to throw certain stuff because they're just sticky and little nags is what they are. But Mikey Samerstill, if I'm Chicago, I'm targeting that little motherfucker every chance I get with those 2 tight ends. You see what I'm saying, kids?
You're saying that Colston Loveland gonna have a 20-point game.
I'm not saying that.
But you are, ain't you? Right? Like
No.
because it's either they send out Cole Kmet or they send out Colston Loveland. I can see Cole being utilized in more of a blocking role just to help out Theo. Make sure Theo's in good position. So that leaves Colston Loveland, same mismatch, same Mike Samerstill situation.
Hold on, Kez, because we're not talking about Theo right now. And I'm just going to mention this in this conversation, trying to persuade you not to do that. We don't know what kind of pressure the Bears are going to be as far as pass protection goes. We're starting Theo Benedict at left tackle. We don't know what kind of, they might be asked to stay back and help protect the quarterback instead of being out and being a threat in a passing game. So that dynamic you have to consider under these circumstances, bro. So I'm being serious as fuck when I tell you that. We don't know how Theo Benedict is gonna perform, and so they might have to adjust and keep a tight end back to help protect the quarterback. So,
well, they're going to, and this is sort of my point. I think that guy is Cole Kmet. Right? If that guy's Cole Kmet, they can still leak, a little chip from Colston and leak him into the seam. It's going to work, and it's going to work well, and I can't wait to see it. Once they sort of establish that a couple of times, then you're right. They're going to move Mike Samerstill off and bring in a linebacker, and that's when we switch up and go the other way and take one of the 2 tight ends off and load up an LB3 or load up an OZ. Right? It's going to be like the mismatch that we're talking about here is very interesting to me. Like I've been looking at it and I can see it. The mismatch is very interesting to me, man. And we got them both ways.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow night, baby. But now, in the immediate time, I got a taste for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I wish I had a banana to slice up and put in the middle, and make sure that the peanut butter is chunky.
That's Elvis.
Hey,
Thank you very much.
And at the end of the day, that's how matchups are made. That's how matchups are made. That's at the end of the day, when the coaches get done and they've already pretty much broken down everything that they need to break down for this game. And some of the advantages they think they can get, how they can attack that defense. And of course, those two guys are going to be primary in that conversation, Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet. But there's only one way you're going to be able to use those two guys in the way that you want to attack the defense, and that is if Theo Benedict is coming along in the way that you think he's going to come along. You supplanted the starter, and you put Theo Benedict in. Now, you better hope it works, or you're going to be using one of them tight ends or both of them back there to protect the quarterback.
Yep,
indeed.
Yeah.
So that's how that's going to work out. But I do think Colston Loveland, Relentless Mikey's right. I think you keep him on ice for a little while if you're a fantasy person, and you just wait. Let him string together a couple games first, a couple strong games before you put him in the game. But I think he's going to have to work his way back into, the fold for the most part. It's going to take a couple of games. He gets a couple, 2 or 3 games in him, and it's looking strong. Then I'm gonna say Colston Loveland is at least a tight end 2 on your fantasy team.
Oh yeah, he's not startable at all. Mind you, I think it's coming. By the way, so does King Booker World, because I can smell what you're cooking, King Booker.
Shout out to Relentless Mikey. He's got a bounce, man.
Shout out here, Mikey.
Shout out to Mike, man. Thanks for coming, my guy. But go ahead, kid.
Safe out there, brother.
Relentless Mikey has left the building.
Out goes Mikey. But yeah, King Booker sent me a trade for. He sent me, and it was a week ago. He sent me TJ Hawkinson for Colston Loveland. I had to look at that and go, damn, TJ Hawkinson? Wait a minute now. And then I clued in. And I was like, oh, because when he comes back, it's going to be a problem. And the problem will start. And I'm just letting you guys know, I think the problem starts Monday night.
Let's go.
Raw against the Washington Commanders. And it goes on for the better part of the season, because this is what Ben Johnson wants to do. He wants to be able to play teams with that mismatch with those 2 tight ends. That's what he wants to be able to do. And then when teams adjust, he can load up the slot. It is so cool to have this conversation, because I can't wait to see it live and direct. Much like I said about Austin Booker. Can't wait to see it, y'all.
And by the way, the Chiefs are up 20-10 on the Lions in the third quarter. 10:37 left to play in the third quarter.
I've never clapped for the Kansas City Chiefs, but right this moment, feed them kitties.
Yeah, the last touchdown the Chef scored was run in by wide receiver Hollywood Brown.
Damn it.
A little toss jet sweep thing.
Give a little bit of give Kelsey a little bit of love. Kelsey needs some help.
All right, let's keep it rolling, man. And kicker and punter is probably the most insignificant conversation that I could possibly have as a football head in the world, but significant nonetheless, man. Cairo Santos is healthy. He's been struggling since that game, and we're gonna hopefully get a fully strong Cairo Santos, because Cairo Santos ain't got no choice, because Jake Moody is sitting in the bullpen. I don't nobody think a whole lot about Jake Moody at this point. He was inconsistent as AF in San Francisco, and that's why they cut him. And so now you're just hoping that if something really goes wrong with Cairo Santos and he cannot go, and something happens during the game and he cannot kick the ball, you're just hoping that Jake Moody is the guy. Trust me, he won't be pulled up on the roster on the 53 for this game. But if something really goes wrong with Cairo Santos, you're hoping Jake Moody is the guy that you need. But Cairo Santos being healthy, that's consistency for the team. And when you got to get 3 points, you got to get 3 points. When you got to get an extra point, you got to get an extra point. So Cairo Santos, insignificant to me, but I know we really need him.
He's a significant part of the team. He's a captain. Damn it.
He ain't shit.
Mr. Pro Player.
Hey,
I don't think very kindly of no goddamn kicker and punter. They ain't actually football players, man. I can get a janitor, man.
I don't know, because Santos, whatever he did, he went away, and now he's increased his distance of his long, because he's over 50 yarders now.
He was taking Viagra.
I don't know what that does for that, but whatever. I ain't in his own personal life. But considering he has a right thigh, he's full go now, but he had a right thigh issue. You know, the right thigh, that's his money leg.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so any kind of issue with the money leg and that extra distance, it's like you gotta hope that he's healthy and that he maintains that extra, I say, strength and distance and consistency. Because, you know, with Moody and the wings, it's one thing to be the only kicker on the team and know that, yes, my general manager can go out at any time and sign a kicker, but it's a whole nother thing to be not the only kicker on the team. You know, you're looking over your shoulder constantly. And it's like, oh, yeah, that younger guy with the bigger leg is in here. Yeah, he got cut from another team, but what's he doing up in here? This is I'm the kicker here. Why is he here? No, stop it.
And all of a sudden, he's drilling shit in practice.
Right. You know, and it's like, damn it. But then also remember the last game the Bears played, they were Torrey Taylor was kicking off for kickoffs.
Yeah.
So, you know, the whole special teams, Cairo Santos, kickoff.
Didn't that make you mad, though? Didn't that make you mad? Because they were like, that Torrey Taylor was kicking off because he didn't kick off earlier in the season. It was Cairo.
He was doing it because Cairo ain't right.
I know, but
he didn't. Money leg.
But remember earlier in the season when Cairo kicked that one out of bounds and everybody was like, wait a minute, but like, how come the fourth round punter can't kick sometimes? And they're like, no, we don't do that. He can't kick off. And now he's kicking off. It looked like they rectified that real easily.
Well, that was more of a had to kick off.
If people are actually bickering and arguing about that, then
I'm not bickering. I'm just asking a question. It's kind of interesting that he's out there doing it now.
Well, I think it was more that he had to out of necessity. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I guess he can do this. And it's like, well, in practice, why don't you all know this? You know, all you do is you line up on the practice field, you know, at the kickoff distance. So, hey, fourth round pick, get your ass out there, kick the ball, and see where it comes down.
Try kicking it this way.
Hey, kids, you ever wonder how I developed this mindset of seeing a kicker or a punter as an other? Just say why, Nomad.
Why, Nomad?
Let me explain. When you get to the major college football level and you realize that football just became a job. And for the people that didn't really love football, it's going to literally be a job for you. So to all the young people that might listen to this at some point that's thinking about doing college football and you having the time of your life in high school, just know when you get to the next level, you better fucking love it because they're going to dog you. They're going to dog you every chance they get. And then you going through those coaches out there dog cussing you, running you, taking you to within an inch of your damn life. I'm serious, bro. And you just look over on the other side of where you're practicing and where you're running, where they're dogging you out at, and you just see these motherfuckers over there chilling, kicking balls and shit. And I'm like, hold up. How come these motherfuckers ain't over here? And you start to see those guys a little bit differently, kids. I promise you. You would not see a kicker or a punter the same. Now, you learn to embrace them because at certain parts of the game, crucial parts of the game, They have to step in and do their job. And thank you, man. You hit that. That's it. But after that, trust me, ain't nobody hanging out with their ass. Nobody fooling with them.
Nobody's cool with the kicker.
Nah.
That's
Poor
fucked up.
Tory Taylor, man.
Ain't nobody fooling with that guy, man. You got a football team and then you got those two guys. That's it.
Yes.
That's the truth about the matter.
That is very funny.
That's the truth, man. You can't go through that kind of people out there throwing up and sick and ain't got nothing left in them, and these motherfuckers over there just watching.
look at him, yo.
You want me to accept him as one of us? Fuck that, man.
They over there smoking cigarettes, looking at porn mags.
Yeah, they over there just chilling.
Oh man, so
got a flask in his
what
job.
You're saying is right next to being a weatherman, being a kicker in the NFL is probably the one of the best jobs in North America.
Long snapper, next best.
Oh damn! Now you nailed it. That's the real one. I can see that guy just with a subscription to the New York Times. You know what I mean? And he's just reading.
He got the sweetest job.
He's reading.
Him and the kickers be somewhere, and the other players be everywhere else, man. Them three motherfuckers, they got it made in the shade with a glass of fucking lemonade, bro.
And long snappers walking around standing between the kickers, just tossing up the ball like this. The rest of the team out there sweating their ass off.
All I gotta do is if I'm a long snapper, not fuck up. If I'm a kicker, just make some kicks.
Man, our long snapper was like 40. They just got rid of him for a younger guy, but it was just because, like, bro, you're 40, bro. It had nothing to do with whether he was bad or anything. It was just, damn, man. You've been chilling in this locker room for a quarter century, man. This is a little bit much,
man. But I tell you that those retirement checks, though.
Damn.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
All right, we can have a whole show about this shit because I kicked one of their ass, man. I ain't fooling with none of them.
Well, no, you ain't gonna kick no kicker's ass because you kick.
I will field goal kick that motherfucker.
Because if it's one thing that they do is kick. I mean, they go over there and it's like they throw some grass up, look at the wind and shit. Kick the ball a few times and, look around. They kick it a few more times. Don't be messing with them because they do kick. That's what they do. That's all they do.
They some sensitive little motherfuckers, but that's football.
Well, but should they also get their Letterman's jacket and get to go to the party? So, hey, it's all good because it's like, because remember, either way, it's either the quarterback is always the star or the go to the game, but kick a game-winning field goal with time expiring or in overtime, or miss a game-winning field goal.
I give you a microphone and put you in the as the Nomad Network representative. Go in the locker room and go ask Grady Jarrett a question. Give me a list of 10, 15 guys you hang out with when the game's over, when you ain't on the field, when you ain't practicing, and I guarantee you 110% that chgo Santos ain't in that conversation. I bet you all of my money. It's going to be a whole bunch of other motherfuckers, but I bet you chgo Santos or Tory Taylor ain't in that conversation.
Hey, you ask any teammate of Sebastian Janikowski who was the man.
Man, he was just drunk. And that's the way to hang out with the boys. That's the way to hang out with the boys, but we don't fool with you, man. Don't fool with them cats, man, for real.
And that is the flight of the kicker, according to Nomad.
Man,
by the Nomad Network.
On there, when you got a chance to kick your field goal, kick your fucking field goal. Other than that, shut the fuck up. That's your role.
How you really feel.
Now, don't mess around and one day move to someplace and your next door neighbors would have the last name of what's Grammatica.
Hey, Trips. You think you ever hear a story? Hey, Cairo Santos called team meeting because we all fucking up. How many people gonna show up to that meeting?
They be like, "Ooh,
Yeah, Zoom. I don't give a
how
fuck.
that
In
fool get my
person,
number?"
Oh, all
in
team
person,
meetings.
Zoom. It don't matter. Who's showing up to that fucking meeting?
Hey, you might as well play for the Dolphins.
You know what I'm saying, I'm just trying to tell you significance of these motherfuckers in real life. All right,
Man.
we ain't gonna ride on Cairo too much. You just keep kicking your field goal, cuz, and you'll be all right.
That's like the time when like Elastic Man shoots the bat symbol, and there's nobody shows up because it's Elastic Man. Nobody's showing up for Elastic Man.
3 months. That's a good comparison right there. That's good.
Nobody's showing up for Cairo Santos.
Man, ain't nobody going. All right, Jaquan Brisker just made it back to practice. It was a little. Everybody got a little nervous when they heard about him on the injury report, and everybody started thinking, "Oh fuck, did he get a concussion?" No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. He had a quad, something going on with his quad, and he is had a full practice since Friday. So they just kept him out pretty much until Friday and Saturday, and he had 2 full practices, and that typically means you're a go. So he's going to be big. He's going to be big in this game because they're going to use the tight ends quite a bit because of the wide receiver shortage. So Jaquan Brisker, as far as the X and O matchup goes, he's going to be pivotal here.
You're damn straight. There's the heart soul of the defense, man. So I was a little bit worried when I heard he was hurt. Yeah, I thought it might be one of those dingy things you were talking about. Glad to hear it's not. I'm glad to hear it's something completely unremoved and unrelated. So, even a semi-healthy Jaquan Brisker with a quad issue, it's better than no Jaquan Briskers. I'm fully with it. Glad to hear that he's coming out.
I've been somewhat disappointed in Kwani B's play this season. He's been there, but he hasn't been momental, been as disruptive as somebody of his pedigree should have been. I mean, we haven't seen, Cat said the heart and soul, but have we really seen him be in that heart and soul? He's kind of been out there and he's been around plays, but think of how many game changing or even just plays that he's made. I'm not a stat guy, so I don't know the numbers, but just watching the game, I don't remember calling his name a whole lot, as far as making tackles. And being that this is a contract year for him, and we're week 6 into the season, and if he don't want to get a low ball offer, and no kids, that is not little people having intercourse. That means that they're going to give him a contract offer that does not go real high. So we're going to need him to start showing up, and that's going to start Monday night, tomorrow night, where it's like, all right, you're healthy. This issue, the quad, you can run around, where to be. You're starting to get more comfortable in Dennis Allen's defense, but you're also hitting Daniels, you're hitting Bill or whoever is on the field, wide receiver, running back, tight end wise. You're actually making plays because he just seems to be behind a little bit this season so far on the field to me.
Well, that's definitely to you, Triple R. And I can remember who was the last time we played? The Raiders?
It was.
Okay.
The Raiders.
I don't remember whether it was the Raiders game. I'm just thinking of all 22 I'm looking at. I remember a particular goal lines. They had the Raiders or the Cowboys. I can't remember which one. Backed up on their own goal line with a chance to advance that football and get a chance to go down the field and get at least a field goal and tie the game up. It was either the Raiders or the Cowboys. Jaquan Brisker, 2 plays in a row, got the Bears off the field. Got them off the field.
Yeah.
Number 1. Number 2 is sometimes, and I'm just trying to stress this to you, Trips. You don't hear about a safety this or safety that. That typically means a safety is doing his job. They're the last resort on the defense. They're the back end of the defense, the very back end. It's the safeties or a touchdown for the most part. And when you don't hear those guys' names, so recently you've been hearing Kevin Byard very recently taking the ball away. Now you haven't heard Jaquan Brisker taking the ball away. You haven't heard him, tackling the quarterback and getting sacks and things like that. So I get what you're saying, but don't discredit the things that you haven't heard because Jaquan Brisker is out there. I'm saying Jaquan Brisker has had an above average performance thus far. From the tackling standpoint, he's been better than average. There's times when he could have got off blocks and, being a little bit more resistant to some of those blocks, just like every other player on that defense. They've been getting run on. And some of them, what you're saying right now is probably due to some of that. You want to see him fill those holes and do all that kind of stuff more. But I'm telling you, basically what I see is Jaquan Brisker playing his role pretty well, pretty damn well. And some of the stuff you don't see is partly due to Jaquan Brisker.
Yeah, well, I hope he does more of it. And, to a point that it's like, okay, yeah, I see Aquani B. Because like you're saying, he makes plays. And I'm not denying that he doesn't. It just hasn't been as impactful as I think that we wanted him to be.
What do you consider impactful, Trips?
Where it's like you have to now, as an opposing offense, you have to know where he is. They know where Montez Sweat is, not because Montez Sweat is a world beater, but he's the most world beater on the defensive line. With Kyler Gordon coming back, they're going to know where he is because they know his propensity for blitzing. Jaquan Brisker they're not game planning for him. They're not trying to avoid him. They're just kind of like, we're just going to run our offense and we'll block him. I wanted to see more from him because it is a contract year. And I know you don't care about money or now on that, but the powers that be, Ryan Poles, Ian Cunningham, and all of them, is looking at Jaquan like, all right, you want to be here beyond this year, which I'm thinking about, beyond 2025. You have to show us that you're worth a new contract or an extension, rather. And I'm not really seeing that, to a level where it's like, oh, definitely resign this dude. I'm seeing it to a level to where it's like, yeah, we give him, a offer, of this much. And, if he takes it, cool. If not, oh, well, kind of thing. And so I want to see more.
Okay. Let me say this to you, Trips. I think sometimes people think about impact and what kind of particular difference you're making. There people looking at the box score and how many sacks did you get, or how many interceptions have you had, how many tackles have you had. Important stuff, but less important than what are you doing your job? You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to see every safety get interceptions like Kevin Byard, and everybody wants to see that. But particularly, are you holding up your end of the bargain? The defense is a collective. It's really even more so than the offense. It's more of a collective. Can you play your role effectively? And when it comes time, can you get us off the field? And I'm telling you, he's probably one of the unsung heroes at times. At times, he can be the GOAT, the person that everybody can say, oh, dog, get off that block here and go get this tackle. You getting held and shit like that. Different shit that goes on during the game. And just because he doesn't have eye-popping stats doesn't mean he's not effectively doing his job.
Yeah, I get that. The quiet guy, you don't hear his name means he's doing his job. That's usually offensive line. But for defense, you want to hear some names because it's like, oh, who got to the quarterback? Oh, who made that hit? Who forced that fumble? As opposed to where you hear him, it's like, oh, good, you made that stop. That's good. But on the bad part, where you get, remember the play where him and Kevin Byard are looking at each other while they're trying to figure out who was supposed to have coverage because the opposing guy's in the end zone now.
Tris,
So,
let me read your mind.
so I get it. It's new, but it's just funny.
Let
Go
me
ahead.
read your mind. You're building a conversation as to don't pay Jaquan Brisker in the offseason, ain't you?
No, I'm saying I'm building a conversation that's like he hasn't really earned it.
Okay. All right. I get it. Let's keep it rolling because I got a contrary point of view than that.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you think, Ed?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Man, here's my thoughts on it. I think that he's doing his job I think he's doing his job so well that it's allowed Kevin Byard to play lights out. He just isn't being quite as impactful as we've seen him in the past. But I think a lot of that is being picked up and amplified by Kevin Byard, which leads to the question Nomad's asking. Do you retain and or pay Jaquan Brisker in time, or do you extend and or pay Kevin Byard? It's a huge question. One is unfortunately injury prone, and as you're saying, from an impact statistically from an impact perspective, we're not really seeing it out of Jaquan this season. So I have a feeling 2 regular contracts are going to be levied this season for both of them, and we'll see who takes what.
All right. Let's just keep it moving. The game, I think we're about, let me make sure I know what I'm talking about. We're 14-14 into the fourth quarter, and the Chiefs are up 3 points. It's 20-17 Kansas City. It's just for the record.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people are watching that game. That's why the chat is slowed down. They're listening to us because we're making some good-ass points, and there's no need to talk at that point. So moving to TJ Edwards, I said this the last time we did the show, and that was on some extra sauce. You can't really quantify the difference between a really good playing Noah Sewell that played his ass off for the Bears in the absence of TJ Edwards. Played his ass off. But the difference between those two football players is the quantity of the football played in the NFL. That's the difference. How many more games has TJ Edwards seen than Noah Sewell? And the difference is stark. He's played a lot of football, and he knows exactly what to do out there in certain situations. And Noah Sewell's figuring that out. He's going to be a big, huge lift to us in all areas of what we do defensively. TJ Edwards is going to be huge. I'm not saying he's going to be the difference and he's going to be fucking Voltron or anything like that. I'm telling you that TJ is going to make a huge impact to the Bears defense because of that. The fact that he's played a lot of football, and he's going to basically be lined up behind wherever Grady Jarrett isn't. Wherever Grady Jarrett isn't, he's the guy behind him cleaning up. As a Mike linebacker, as a middle linebacker, he's going to be there to clean it up. And so he's going to be pivotal tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, he will be pivotal. How well TJ Edwards plays tomorrow night could not be the difference of the game. I would just say it would be the difference in the game. If he can help stop that run game, it's going to be huge.
Do you expect him to actually be at full strength?
Yeah.
You do, eh?
I do.
Okay, I hope so. That's all. That's the only thing that worries me. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about. I'm not fussed about TJ versus Noah Sewell, and I think Noah Sewell shouldn't be either. He was clearly ahead of him in the depth chart. There's a reason why. TJ is that good, but damn, I just want to make sure that he's getting on the field and not endangering himself again, let alone getting on the field and being a step slower than we're used to seeing from TJ. So that's it. I'm excited to get him back because my boy does a whole lot on that run. You know what I mean? He's pretty stout with the run against the run.
Yes,
Triple.
indeed, and that looks like what the commies will be attacking with. Will be a lot of runs, and so it will be nice to have TJ back. As this team has been getting gashed in the run pretty regularly. It's good to have Sewell and even shout out to Hippolyte, who's been out there in the linebacker deployment. But it will be interesting to see how they are utilized, who's lining up where, between TJ and Tremaine. How often does Sewell get in? But having TJ back, and as long as that hamstring is good to go and can handle the moisture out there that's going to be happening if it's inclement weather, and he can, fully extend and stretch in his strides, it's going to be totally beneficial because he is that veteran presence who's seen a lot of football, so he knows where to be and what to do, and he can do it once he gets there. It's just having the physical ability to do it, and that's just the only thing in question because he's coming off of an injury. A few games, there's no issue, then we're not even having this conversation.
Yeah, TJ, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge, but we got to keep it rolling just because from a time standpoint. Kyler Gordon, that is, I would just tell you guys this. I wouldn't expect just because Kyler Gordon is coming back that the defense is going to automatically morph into something different than it's been so far. It's not. It's not going to. What it's going to do is change the tendencies of the coach to call a play at a certain time. And so when you're in certain downs and distances and you're thinking about doing something because you won't because Kyler's not out there and you don't feel like this player can get home, you're going to probably have the tendency to lean towards, I'm going to call that play and I'm going to trust my guys behind that. And so we talking about blitzes. We're talking about blitzes on the quarterback. We're talking about run blitzes and different things like that to help fit the run and help the run game out, the run defense game out. Sometimes you can call a run blitz. When you got a dynamic player like Kyler Gordon, you can send him on a fire, and that dude will come in there and change the trajectory of that running back, whichever way he was trying to go. But he can be that kind of piece, and he can help a defensive coordinator call it a little bit more aggressive than he had been calling it in the previous few games. And so that's going to be the biggest difference in Kyler Gordon being on the field. It's not going to be like this huge, okay, all of a sudden Dennis Allen's defense looks a whole lot different because Kyler Gordon's on. No, that's not it. He's going to have the tendency to be a little bit more aggressive because he's out there, and that's just the way it should be. If you got a guy that can come in there and make a play on the ball, or at least move that ball carrier to another spot where the rally is coming, that's the way defensive coordinators think. Can you affect the play and get us off the field at times? That's where he's going to be handy. Ain't nobody saying nothing?
Muted,
Well, I'll say something. Yeah, no. I was muted. Long story short, you nailed it though. I'm not sure if he's going to have a major impact this week. The reason for that, for me, is if you don't have to blitz him, why blitz him? Keep him in coverage, right? And I have a feeling they may not have to blitz him because they're actually able to generate pressure because a certain young man named Austin Booker has returned to the line. So if you don't have to drop him in, if you don't have to blitz with them, why do it, right? So that's where my headspace is. I have a feeling we may not see some of the overall exoticness that I expect Dennis Allen to bring to the table with Kyler Gordon, just because things are maybe actually going to work this week. Fingers crossed.
All right, Trip, before you go, just know we're going to skip all the way over Jonah and Kyle Monangai. We talked about the running backs already, but Jonah, that's cool, but we got to get to Darnell Wright. That's going to take a little bit of time, so just know that ahead of time.
Yeah, well, with Kyler, I don't think that Dennis Allen's going to say, well, we're not going to blitz our good nickelback blitzer, because he's just coming back. If TJ's back, if everybody on this list that is dealing with something is back on the field, we have to trust that they can go. And so that means sending Kyler after Daniels, after the quarterback. I don't think we have seen, what this defense can do with everybody healthy, because everybody hasn't been healthy. And so getting on the same page is going to be huge. And Booker will be huge in getting pressure, but there are going to be play calls and times where blitzes will be rained down upon those damn commies. And Kyler Gordon will be one of those huge droplets to pound them into the ground. So his deployment will be, I think, the Swiss Army knife kind of utilization that he's good for in coverage, in run support, and in blitzing. So I think, he's going to be very impactful for the defense.
All right, let me give you one quick example of how you can use that to play to your benefit. You bring in Kyler Gordon back. Kyler Gordon is known around the league as one of those kind of guys that you can send on the blitz and he can affect your offense. He can disrupt your offense. He can be disruptive, 110%. We all know that. We know that. This is how you play on something like that. In this alignment, you bring down, you put Kyler in the slot, and you send him on what looks to the offense as an obvious, let's just say 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. And they're getting ready to figure out, it's a running. It's a passing play. It's a passing play. And the goal is to get one of these guys out in the flat, whether it's a tight end, one of these receivers, get them out in the flat. Because if Kyler's coming and he's showing blitz, what you expect is there's going to be a vacated spot and you're going to have a flat route for whoever is running that flat route. So I'm talking about to the left side in particular. Let's say you got a tight end lined up in tight, and you expect him to get out there in the flat route, and he's going to catch it at 5 and run for 3, something like that. That's the way they draw this stuff up. Let's just say there's a receiver out there, and he decides he's lined up out wide, and all of a sudden Kyler is in the game plan showing blitz. And if he shows blitz and the quarterback recognizes it, and he brings the receiver in. So you got a receiver all the way out wide left, and they recognize the blitz, and he brings that receiver in. He motions him into a tighter formation just to get that flat route, that out route up, right? All of a sudden, here comes Jaquan Brisker. Here comes Kevin Byard down to refill what Kyler just left. What does that make the defense do, kids or trips? It makes them either call a timeout or run a play, and it's going to be an errant play because they didn't plan for that. Mm-hmm. These are the kind of things you can do with a guy like Kyler Gordon. Inverts, match and replace, different things like that you can do defensively to fuck up the whole game plan of the offense. These are the kind of things that Kyler Gordon can bring to the table. Or he can show blitz and drop back into that coverage. All of those things he's capable of. So he's a chess piece for real. That ain't no bullshit. He's a real chess piece.
Indeed.
Yeah. We'll see how he deploys them. That's it.
All right, let's get to the coup de grace of this conversation. That is, we are not even be talking about Darnell Wright. Darnell Wright's going to be a starter on the right side. Now, we're talking about the left tackle. And this is, and I'm just hoping that this is just my personal apprehension about Theo Benedict being there. It hasn't, trust me, it has nothing to do with him being from Canada, him being a UDFA. None of that has anything to do with it, because I believe this, as a football player, when you earn it, you earn it. I don't give a fuck if you was drafted at all, where you came into the team at, what status you came into the team at. It's just where you are right now. And right now, he's going to be the starting left tackle for the Chicago Bears. I just hope. And I said this during the game. You remember this, kids. He looks like a better left tackle, much better left tackle than he did a right. And it proved to be true. And so they got more confident about that, and they ended up starting him. I just hope the Commanders don't decide to open a water hose on him and just really go after him, because I think that's what they're going to do at some point or another. I think they're going to go after him.
I think that goes without saying. I think that's a guarantee. They definitely will be going after him. That is where the weakness on the line has been traditionally. I would be going at that left tackle position as well. Overload the blind side. I'd be sending blitzes over there. I'd be doing all of the above, which is part and parcel as to why I was suggesting that Cole Kmet is utilized right beside him in chip capacity for at least the first, better part of the first quarter, just to show the Washington Commanders that we know what you're doing. We know what you're up to. We're willing to put a guy here, but watch me hit his partner in the seam. Watch me hit him again. Watch me hit him again and again. Oh, you're mad? Perfect. Now you're going to, you know what I mean? Now you're going to have to account for the tight end over the other side, and you're going to pay a little bit less attention to blitzing on the left side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is why the chip is so important. This is why the extra tight end in the lineup is so important. Ken Kong, bear down, dog. But yeah, man, give us a like, share, subscribe across the board. We are triple streaming like we do at about this time every Sunday. Hit me, your favorite Canadian, right at Keza Canuck right here on YouTube. Please give me a like, share, subscribe over there. Leave a comment. I would appreciate that. Always good to chop it up with y'all. And I know my guy underneath me loves to do the exact same thing. So give him a little bit of love at Sports Chicago Style. Or if you're hungry, go check out Chef Trips and give him some of your love as well. We appreciate that, as does Nomad. Give the Nomad Network a like, share, subscribe, and chime into the chat right now as we chop it up. If you don't know how to do all of those things, maybe we should do something like this.
Whoa. Before you do all that.
Slow down.
Slow that down.
All right, we can slow down.
Yeah.
But hey, we love y'all. Give us a little bit of love. We would like it. But hey, where are we at? Darnell? We talking about Darnell. Well, really, we're talking about Theo.
Well, yeah, you have finished up on Theo. Theo, everybody around the league has seen the Hard Knocks thing of him and how he earned his name. Thanks, Flus. But we all know, he knows, Ben Johnson knows that they're going to attack, Theo. It's his first start, for Christ's sake. UDFA. Not even from this damn country. What the hell? Of course, we're going to go at him until he proves he can hold his own. So the game plan will reflect that, I'm pretty sure. But it's going to come down to Theo having to, play some ball and earn his spot, respectedly on the line and in the league. And this is his opportunity. So the game plan is going to be what it is, whether it's a lot of runs, opposite side, his side, tight ends to his side, running backs chipping, doing all of that help. But eventually it's going to come down to Theo having to, address the guy that's in front of him and, switching and all that. Somebody mentioned that Tooney being next to him is going to help tremendously because of his experience in the league. So it's going to be it's a new chapter in a very old book of the Bears. And this new chapter is within the chapter of the Ben Johnson regime. Now it's the changing of the left tackle, and so we're going to see how it plays out. And it's like, let's go. It's time for the eagle to fly. Let's go.
I'll give you a particular example, kids. I want you to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. And
All right.
I won't be on the broadcast. It'll be you and Trips doing it. I'll be there in the background. And all I want you to do is say, Nomad, there it is. And this is it. This is it. There will be a down and distance, say a 3rd and 7. That's my favorite down and distance. That's the in between. You can run it or you can throw it down. And every defense has to prepare for that. And so you'll see a 3 down front where you'll see a tackle or an edge rusher line up on the inside technique on the tackle. So that means he's going to be lined up outside the guard and inside the tackle. And it's going to look like he's coming, and he probably will. And on the outside of him will be either another edge rusher, more than likely a linebacker, Frankie Louvu or somebody like that. It's going to be on the outside. He's going to be in a 0-point stance. He won't have no fingers in the ground. It's going to be looking like he's coming. And he might. And that's going to be the conundrum of Joe Thuney and Theo Benedette. How much do I compensate it from Joe Thuney to help out Theo Benedette? Because he's not very sure which one of these guys he needs to pick up. Does he need to pick up the Frankie Louvu guy, number 4, on the edge that looks like he's coming? Or do I need to get my focus on the guy that's coming on the inside? Here's the thing. Every offensive line is taught to block inside out. And so how long he sticks to the inside guy, let's just say he picks up on the edge or the 3 tech, whoever it is that's playing in that gap on the inside technique, he picks him up. How long do you stay on that guy before you know that this other guy is coming around to try to make you get off of him and go block? They're going to do that at first. And then if he doesn't pick that up right, they're going to get a little bit more aggressive on that side. A little bit more aggressive. But when you see that technique, when you see a tackle or an edge rusher lined up in between the guard and the tackle on a certain down and distance, kids, say it to me. Nomad, I see it.
All right.
That's how they're going to start attacking him.
I'll keep my eyes peeled. If they have a tight end layered to the outside of him, what are your thoughts?
If they have a tight end, that's just going to make them bring another guy over there. That
so
means
they're going to
safety
double overload on the left side is what you're saying.
Yes, they're gonna make sure they're gonna make it look like to Theo Benedette that, okay, I got to figure out who I got to pick up here. They're gonna challenge him. Period. That's the whole point. They're gonna push him to make sure that he's an NFL left tackle. They're gonna make, if he's not an NFL left tackle, they're gonna find out. Discipline stuff, man. What's your keys? What is first? Inside first. Make sure you block the inside guy first. If you're late to the outside guy, okay, pick it up on the next play, but make sure you just at least touch the inside guy and make sure you're being accountable for the outside guy. That's just how offensive lines work. Basic stuff. It happens in like a second, and then you got to be out to guard that outside rusher in the next second. It happens that fast.
Well, I kind of can't wait to see how he handles all that. I have a strange feeling he'll handle it very well, but at the same time, I have a strange feeling that they're going to layer it so that he has some support there. If the opposing defense is really willing to fully commit 3 men to that side, more or less, I get it. It's got a higher chance of landing, but at the same time, you're leaving the better part of the right-hand side wide open to do things. So, like, thank goodness we have a single running back who's actually good on the outside. You know what I mean? Like, you could just run a sweep on the right side to sort of counter that if that's really what they're trying to do. So, again, one thing that I'll say is most important outcome of Monday's game is like the one thing that we've been seeing all this season, and that's the fact that we actually have a coach who like has has brain cells left. that's half the battle. This game last time around, was clearly and evidently a massive expose on what not to do when you're coaching a football team.
All right.
So
what I'll do is I'll cut it off here because we got like literally 10 minutes to give our little closes, and just be mindful of that because we got to get out of here under 2 hours because it's good for the algorithm, y'all. It is.
right on.
All right. So let me throw this out here just to remind people what we do around here, and this is this part of the month. Oops, wrong one. My bad. That's right. It is all month long horror month on the Nomad Network. We're going to keep bringing, don't forget, on Wednesday night, that's what we're going to be talking about. Part of the show is going to be about that. So if all you horror people that love horror, love scary, love Halloween, this is the place for you, man. This is what I love doing this kind of stuff. So just have to put that out there before we give out some closing thoughts before we get off the show. Let me give a quick update on what's going on in Detroit. It is 27-17. It looks like probably the Chiefs going to run away with this. 27-17 Kansas City, man. So kids, any last thoughts before we get ready to get out of here?
Last thoughts. Austin Booker, yay. Colston Loveland, yay. Washington Commanders, boo. John Burr, boo. Keep it pretty simple this week, man. Straight up and down. I do expect the Bears win. I hope that's what comes down, because I think we have ways to manipulate this football contest, and we have a guy with the wherewithal to do it exactly that way. So, bear down, y'all, man. Let's get this W.
Yeah, indeed. It's almost game day. It's time for this team to take another step in building upon what they've already done. So that includes the coaches all the way down to the positional players, including the janitor cream. You know, everybody has to keep improving, keep learning, and coming together as a team. And now it's not going to be just trying not to lose. We will actually have a team that wins games. And I think that could start as a good litmus test against the commies, you know, because they made the playoffs last year. So this is a playoff team, you know, until they're not. And it's the opportunity for the Bears to, you know, have that measuring stick to see how they measure up under the bright lights after a bye week. 3 things that have not boded well for this organization historically. But this is a new time, a new era, and we got a new attitude, and we're going to wash all of those bad feelings out of our hair starting tomorrow night. So make sure you join us for the live call.
Ooh.
I don't know what that was.
I got a new attitude. You know your Patty LaBelle, damn it. What's wrong with you, man?
All right.
Patty?
Let me
Your mama wasn't playing Patty.
Let me lasso these two motherfuckers and get this shit where it needs to be. And that is Trips is I just really keyed in on a certain point of what Trips just said. That is litmus test. That's what stuck out to me. That I got in my head because that's part of where I wanted to go. And that is true. You know, this is a good measuring stick. The Washington Commanders, never mind their record. Just remember what they just did last year. This is one of the better teams, one of the best teams in the NFL. No matter what you think of them, I don't give a fuck what their record says. This is one of the best teams in the NFL, and they will have a chance to compete for a Super Bowl again. You measure your team up against a team like this. With a second-year quarterback, that sounds strange as shit, but that's real deal Holyfield. Just telling you right now. Just telling you that right now. This is a litmus test, and how we perform against this team in the next, I would just say 2 weeks. Mark my words when I say 2 weeks. This game and the next 2 games will determine whether or not the Bears are in the conversation for all the trade ideas that everybody gets excited about. You will see the reality of that come to life, come to real life when it comes to what happens in these next few games. I'm just telling you, period. That's what it is. And before we get out of here, I just got to leave you guys with these sensible thoughts that I have in my head that I was thinking about before the show. Typically, I don't really think about much to say when we end the show, but I will say this to you. And keeping politics out of it, I'm talking about worldly events or, regional events for us in the United States. You're starting to see, people start to hurt a little bit for different reasons. We got government shutdowns and all that kind of stuff going on. You got a lot of people that you probably know that have federalized jobs. And, these are the things that affect a lot of people. And what I want to encourage everybody in this way, I don't give a shit I do care about how you use your vote. But I'm going to say this to keep from being divisive about it. Just pay attention to who needs help. On this earth, part of your job and your responsibility on this earth as a human being is to make sure you're of service to somebody. I don't give a shit who you are. You can help somebody. I'm not saying go give your hard-earned money to somebody who doesn't deserve it. I'm saying be mindful of somebody that you might be able to help. Because we all got to deal with this shit together. And I'm just going to leave that there. And also, there's a lot of things that we do on the channel as far as you hear all the, the horror stuff and the doomsday stuff and the 3-Eye Atlas stuff. I think the through line in all of that is always prepare for some day that things won't always be the way you predicted it to be. Things might change. Things might change. And what's your plan B? What's your plan C? What is your default? If things go wrong, how do you keep taking care of yourself? This is how I end the show. It starts first with just giving a fuck about the next person. Just give a fuck first. Just care. Might be somebody that has kids, you don't. Might be somebody that has an elderly person in their home and they have to take care of them, you don't. Might be somebody in some situation that is almost impossible for them to get through without some kind of help. And all I'm saying is at least be considerate of being that person that could help them. I'm saying consider it. You don't have to act. Consider it. And that's how we win as a community, as a world community, not just the United States, not just Canada, not just everywhere else. It's about being willing to be of assistance to somebody that doesn't have it like you do at that moment. And I'll just leave it there before I leave you with these famous words. If you can think it and you can see it, there's no reason in the world why you cannot absolutely manifest it. Do not, and I'll repeat, do not be a prisoner of your own mind. But with that being said, we are out.